It's the Coach's Corner Show, a production of WJER and Big Z Sports, in partnership with Williams Floorcovering, Sugar Valley Meats, Wood Electric, and Smartway Communications. And now, here is your host, Bill Hammerstrom, with Coach Dan Ifft.
Bill Hammerstrom here for WJER Sports and Big Z Sports in the Coach's Corner with Dover head football coach Dan Ifft, getting ready to take on the Linsly Cadets this week. First, let's look back at last week, a 35-3 win on the road over Mansfield-Madison. Held the Rams to 3 points, got 3 turnovers. What did you like out of your defense? Where did you see improvement?
Well, I thought we read our keys a lot better. We positioned ourselves a lot better. Our kids finally, some of the kids have been filling in and caught on to what we try to do defensively. And from that standpoint, I felt like we did a much better job on the line of scrimmage than we've done in previous weeks.
So scored 35 points, too, and I know in the first half you had touchdowns from Justice Hughes. You had a touchdown, of course, Jack Judkins throwing all these touchdown passes. Dalen Clark, Colin Bruno, Cade Oswald, and then Caden Shaw got to throw a touchdown pass in the second half. Do you go into these games knowing you want to spread the ball around, or is that just how the game plan works out?
No, it kind of works out that way. A lot of the things that we're doing, Jack's reading some things. Like I said, our offensive passing coordinator, Mark Mulk's done a great job with that. And so we really don't know where he's going with the ball until the ball is snapped and he identifies what he wants to see, or what he's seeing, so to speak. But we do have some kids we got to get the ball to, and from that standpoint, spreading it around never hurts.
Now you had Cam Nauer back at center for you, and saw some other players step up on defense. Can you talk about his return and some of the players who filled in?
Yeah, he was critical to have back. For the last 2 weeks, Colton Gribble's been playing both ways and not coming off the field, and he's done a really fine job of that. But that's tough on a young man, and especially when you have not been the center. So having Cam back was a real boost for us. And then this week, hopefully, we can play him a little bit defensively as well, which will help us. Brady Gibb had one of his better games, senior, that came out this year and picked up on defensive end play. Colin Peoples has been solid all year for us. So we're pretty happy with the way the kids read their keys and reacted to their keys over on Friday night.
So you take on the Linsly Cadets next here at Crater Stadium. I know they haven't won a game yet this year, but you look at their schedule. They've lost to 3 teams that are 7-0, 2 teams that are 6-1, and the other game that they lost was to the 5-3 New Philadelphia Quakers. So what are you expecting out of the Cadets? Well,
that's the thing. People said, well, boy, they haven't won a game. But I said, well, go play their schedule then, because their schedule's brutal. And they've had some tough games. They've played some really fine people, including our rivals. Got a great team, and there was a lot of points scored in that game. But they've got a really good thrower and a quarterback, and their kids can run really good routes. They seem to have good speed. They seem to be big up front. So they're again. I've said this before. They're going to be all we can handle. Because of their size and because of the fact that they have played some really, really talented teams. They kept the ball in the studio game for 9 minutes straight and went down and scored. And not many people do that to Big Red. So, they're very, very formidable.
Yeah, be back at Crater Stadium after that trip to Mansfield to take on the Rams.
Yeah, that's a long trip. The people from across the river told me, where do you get in the league? You'll get a feel for these trips. And that was a long trip, and about an hour and a half by bus. And nothing wrong with it. Nice stadium, fine people, but it was a little bit of a trek.
All right, Dover back at Crater Stadium to take on Linsly in the Coach's Corner with Dan Ifft. I'm Bill Hammerstrom.
This has been the Coach's Corner Show, a production of WJER and Big Z Sports, in partnership with Williams Floorcovering, Sugar Valley Meats, Wood Electric, and Smartway Communications. Big Z Sports and WJER, the combined sports voices of the Valley.